The second illustration in this unit shows us perhaps in a more accurate manner what a house might have looked at the time of Jesus and Mary. They could well have gone to a house that was built along these lines. Now what do we see? Well, we see a house. We see an entrance door. We see some animals. We see a sheep and a donkey. We see straw on the ground. Remember, that's where the stable was. You see the raised platform where the family lived. And here you see some mangers. There is your stable. And here we see, well, maybe the one room where the family lived. And against the walls you see some jars where they kept the grains and who knows what else they kept there, their food supplies. And here is a woman doing some cooking and so forth. And anyway, on the ground you see some rugs. And you even see some rugs rolled up standing against the wall, see? So at night when you go to sleep, you don't go looking for your bedroom. You just pull out maybe another rug and lay it on the floor, and the family sleeps on the floor. Now here we see a house with a guest room. Note that the roof is flat, both for this first level and that second level. And you see timbers across here with maybe some sort of a mesh or whatever it is, woven stuff, and then you have a floor, and you have over here a roller to roll it, say, when it got a little bit uneven, because often the floors were made out of mud or a mixture of earth and so forth. They would roll it again to keep it flat. And here you have a staircase leading up. I think more accurately there would have been some sort of a safety guard there, maybe a rail or something, or just a line of stones, bricks, so that they could be secure when they climbed up. Now, usually a guest room was built on the second level. Now you ask why? Well, they didn't have to buy any more ground to accommodate a guest room. You just stuck it up on the second floor, because land back there for the very poor people would be an expensive commodity. So let's put the guest room up there. Now often they would build a house and there would be no guest room, but perhaps as they accumulated a little wealth, the time would come when they could afford to put a guest room up there. So we're showing a guest room and a little bit of a window, and we have a door. And even we suggest there might have been a ladder leading up there. And again, you have a flat roof up top. Now why? Because in the hot summer months, the people can go out and sleep in the open. And you again will have some sort of a mat up there and a roller and some jars maybe for some food supplies and some water. That could well have been the kind of house in which Jesus was born. Well, I've been to that part of the world a number of times and seen at least a couple of houses where you can still see something of this pattern surviving. And here we see maybe the owner of the house, and maybe he's out there doing some trading and he's got some donkeys and he's carrying who knows what, maybe some food supplies or some grains and so forth. But that helps us understand the way things might have been in the Christmas story. And those of you who have been to countries like Austria, if you've been to Switzerland, Germany, you will still see there, well, of course, much bigger houses, but often the stable is part of the house, and the stable can be at the ground floor, and the house is built above it. Well, that's the way it well might have been, but it helps us understand, okay, if there's no room in the guest room up here, join us in the family circle. Well, there are many more details in the manual. I've already referred to some of these about, again, it's very unlikely that she got there late in the afternoon or evening and the baby's born that night. And we've talked about the shape of the house and the stable tradition and so forth. And when was Jesus born? There are some differing opinions about that, but he must have been born before 4 BC, because we're told that Herod the Great tried to have him put to death. Herod died in 4 BC. So he must have been born sometime before the death of Herod, and some say he might have been born as early as 7 BC. We're not sure. It really doesn't matter too much to have the date absolutely accurate. What matters is who he was and why he came. And that's now what we're going to deal with. Let's move on to the next unit, and we're now going to give some much more thought to the visit of the shepherds.